Hey, Motorman here. If you're new to this channel, I teach the police motor officer techniques to you via my videos on YouTube as well as my Ride Like a Pro video. We also talk about motorcycles, Harley Davidsons mainly, but all kinds of motorcycles. And today we're going to talk about a very strange phenomenon. It's the hatred of Harley Davidson motorcycles. I don't get it. Maybe you could tell me, but I'll give you my thoughts on it. Now cue the intro. Alright, so folks, help me out here. Anytime I post anything with a photo of a Harley Davidson as a thumbnail, or about Harley Davidson motorcycles, or comparing Harley to other motorcycles, I get what I call Harley hate comments. I can't figure them out. What's the hate thing? I mean, it's an inanimate object. It doesn't have any feelings. Why would you have hate for a particular motorcycle? I mean, I can understand it if maybe your favorite ex-wife left you for a Harley Davidson motorcycle. I can't think of anything else that would make you hate the motorcycle itself. Sometimes I had a guy comment, I don't know what the video is about, but he said Harleys suck. So I said, I commented back, can you expand on that? He said, yeah, they have antiquated brakes, suspension, no power, they leak oil, and they're unreliable. And I'm thinking, this guy never rode a Harley Davidson motorcycle, or at least he hasn't ridden one in about 40 years. Because about 35-40 years ago they solved all those problems. Now another guy commented because they're too slow and the handling sucks. Well, as compared to what? Because if you compare it to any other heavyweight cruiser type touring motorcycles, Harleys don't suck. In fact, I would say they're state-of-the-art as far as heavyweight cruisers go. Now you could argue, well, maybe there's some others that are also state-of-the-art, like the BMW Bagger or some of the Indian motorcycles, and that may be true. But to say that they're antiquated or that they're not fast enough, as compared to what? I believe that they've got plenty of power right out of the showroom. Even with the 107 motor, that's all the power you really need. It'll carry two people and all their luggage up any mountain you want with plenty of power to spare. Now if you're comparing it to a Hayabusa or any other high-performance sport motorcycle, well, yeah, it may be slow as compared to that, but that doesn't make any sense. You got to compare apples to apples. It's like saying pickup trucks suck because they don't handle like a Corvette. Well, Corvettes suck because they can't carry 4x8 sheets of plywood. You know, one is built for one thing, one is built for another. Then I get the people to say I hate it because they're too expensive. Well, that doesn't make any sense. If you hate it, what do you care how much it costs? You wouldn't buy a motorcycle you hate, so if it costs $10 or $10 million, what's the difference to you? So the whole thing is just, it's craziness. And I know that there's some people that just like to troll. They got nothing better to do, so you know, and anytime they see anything about motorcycles, they'll post a stupid comment because they want the world to see how stupid they are, I guess. But you know, enlighten me, folks. You hate Harley Davidsons, why? Give me an idea. As far as cruisers go, heavyweight touring motorcycles, I don't see how you could beat a Harley Davidson. And don't tell me they're too expensive, because if they were too expensive, people wouldn't buy them. Right now you can't even find new Harley Davidsons at your local dealership. They may have 3 or 4 where normally they'd have 15 or 20. So that doesn't make any sense. In addition, price-wise, As far as heavyweight touring motorcycles go, Harley Davidsons are right in line with Goldwing or the Indian touring motorcycles or the BMWs. They're all pushing 30,000, or at the very least they're starting off around 20 grand. But you know, you could buy the Harley Davidson Electric Light Standard right around 20,000. Now that's not counting any kind of dealer greed, because right now dealer greed is pretty high just about anywhere you go. But it's not just with Harleys. I had a guy at my class last week with a Yamaha, I think it was a 700 or 750, and he said that it was the only one that was in the showroom. And the guy said if you want to buy it, it's MSRP plus setup $800 and freight and prep, and I think he said dealer greed or dealer fees were $1,000. So he wanted it, so he had to pay $1,800 over MSRP for a Yamaha. So if you want to go and hate, I guess you could hate the dealers. Don't blame the company though, because if a Harley Davidson dealer sells their bike for over MSRP, the motor company doesn't get any of that money. They sell the motorcycle at invoice price, whatever that may be. If it's $15,000 and the dealer gets the bike and he sells it for $35,000, the motor company doesn't get any of that money. That's just the dealer. And if you think it's wrong for the dealer, well, I can understand that argument. Maybe it is. However, if you got a house and you know your house is worth $300,000 and somebody offers you $400,000 for it, don't tell me you're not going to take that $400,000. I mean, come on, nobody's forcing you to buy one. Nobody's going to put a gun to your head and say, you better buy that Harley Davidson. Buy whatever you want. You don't like Harleys? Maybe you like Yamahas. Buy one of those. Buy Kawasaki. There's a whole bunch of brands out there. Buy what you like. I've over the years had, I mean, I don't know, I can't count them, how many Hondas I've had a few Yamahas, Kawasaki's, Triumphs, you name it, loved them all. There is really no such thing as a modern motorcycle that's really bad. Some are better than others in some respects, but none of them are junk that I've found, and I get to ride quite a few of them. Technology has really moved ahead past 20-25 years, and you know, just buy what you like. I happen to like Harley Davidsons. I love the way they look. I love the classic American style. When I couldn't afford one, well, I bought a Kawasaki Nomad back in I think it was 1999. I could have stretched and bought a Road King, but at that time they were getting $5,000 over MSRP for Harley Davidsons, and my rule in life is never pay retail. So I wouldn't buy it until the price dropped. And the first Harley I bought was 2004. They came out with the Peace Officer Edition, and the deal was if you're a police officer, even retired police officer, show your ID and you could buy the Peace Officer Edition Road King or Ultra for $2,000 under MSRP. The local dealer at that time wouldn't honor that. He said, no, it's $2,000 over MSRP. I said, no, I think you're wrong. He said, no, it's a special edition, so it costs more. Well, I found a dealer up in the Panhandle who had one, and called him up, and he said, you know, show me your ID, and it's $2,000 under MSRP. And that was the first time I bought a Harley. Prior to that, I'd had a whole bunch of Japanese motorcycles. I got nothing against them. They make great motorcycles. You can't beat a Honda for so many reasons. In fact, if right now, if Honda has a CL 350 Scrambler that they're selling in India and I think parts of Europe, I would love to have one of those. I had a 350 way back in I think it was, well, the late 70s, mid 70s. I loved that bike. I'd buy a 350 Scrambler the second they got one, and I might even pay a little over MSRP to get one. But anyway, buy what you like. No reason to hate anybody else's choice or a particular inanimate object like a motorcycle. But that's it, folks. Feel free to comment and lay the hate on me.